Hey, guys, how's it going? All right, let's play a little music while we start the show, while we wait everybody to get in here, and we commence the insanity. All right, hey, guys, how's it going?
Look at me.
All right, let's play a little music while we start the show, while we wait everybody to get in here, and we
Where's all that coming from?
commence the insanity.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Look at me.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Where's all that coming from?
Oh no. Hold on a second. There we go. Sorry about that.
Show goes on.
That's right.
This is my home.
That's right.
They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball.
Get me out of here.
They're gonna need to send in the National Guard of fucking SWAT team. Go away. That's a scam.
All right. Let's start to get into it, guys. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun, to enjoy the show. All right. Let's just get right into it. That's right. What are we gonna do, huh? What are we gonna do about this guy, huh? What are we gonna do about me? Hey guys, welcome back to the second live stream, the second episode here on this channel, on the new channel, on a new thing that we're doing here, Jose Unleashed. I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering why that name, Jose Unleashed. Believe it or not, I was bouncing around a bunch of names and a bunch of things, and this is the best I can come up with. All right, I'm sorry, I'm not so good sometimes with the branding. All right, I'm just good with the content making. That's about it. So, all right, what we're talking about today, we're going to be talking about why is it Americans can't cook. Now, a little caveat out there. Look, my parents, okay, were Cuban. Okay, and they came from Cuba to the United States, and they were, and then I was born, and then my sister was born. So, that's how I became an American citizen. I was born in the USA, but my mom is Cuban as can be, and but yet, growing up in America, because she came here, I think like at 16, 18 years old, and by the way, never learned English. Yeah, that's right. So, she came here like around 16, 18 years old, give or take. And, she was basically raised in America. So when my dad married her, my dad thought that she was Cuban. She is, by the way, Cuban as can be. But since she was raised in America, well, she didn't learn how to cook. Well, she learned how to cook as an American. So believe it or not, I ate a lot of chicken nuggets, okay, alongside, my rice and beans. Okay, so just FYI, who made the rice and beans? My grandma. And who made the chicken nuggets? My mom. All right, so I had a lot of chicken nuggies, all right, back in the day, a lot of McDonald's cheeseburgers. I was raised on Americana. So I feel like I can speak on this, fairly well. On top of that, I'm a chef, formerly known as a chef, right? Like Prince, I'm Jose, formerly known as, the cook, a chef, whatever. By the way, I just say chef because it's a lot easier for, to kind of like convey what I was as opposed to just saying I was a cook. But that's really what we all were, a cook. Anyone that's in the kitchen is a cook. You're only a chef if you're the boss. So basically, when someone says, oh, I'm a chef, what that really means is that I'm a manager at McDonald's. I'm a manager at Shish Hong Kong Ki Kong. I was trying to do French there and I went Asian. Jeez. By the way, I couldn't even get a break. Some of you guys are following me over from my other channel, so shout out to you guys, all right? Some of you guys are following me over from this channel, and here we are. I was supposed to take a 30-minute break, but my homie called me. I was talking to my homie, for a little bit, lost track of time, because time goes by quick, as you know, and before you knew it, I was like, oh my God, it's time to get on the show. So here I am. But yeah, a lot of fish sticks, all right? Yes, I've eaten a lot of fish sticks, all right? 100%. I love fish sticks. By the way, honestly, I haven't had a fish stick in a very long time. Just regular
dicks. Just eating a lot of dicks. In fact, I remember when I used to live in Seattle, I used to always eat a bag of dicks. You know, for anyone from Seattle or from that area, Washington State, you guys know what I'm talking about. But everyone up there loves to eat bags of dicks. Dick's is a restaurant, okay? Dick's is a hamburger place, okay? So, you know, if you're going to go get a bag of dicks, you're really just getting a bag of burgers or a bag of dicks. You know, again, if you know Seattle, you know what's up. But today what we're going to be talking about is why is it that most Americans can't cook? You know what I mean? Why is that? And again, I don't want to hear it. I know a lot of people were probably offended, you know, already, you know, before that we even went live or even, you know, what is it like? I started talking about this, and you know that goes to show you a lot. You know what I mean? Like if you're offended, you're probably someone that can't cook. Okay? You know, honestly, you shouldn't be offended if you can cook. All right? But why am I making this video? Well, I mean, honestly, there are shows on TV, on American TV. All right? Let me reemphasize that. There are tons of shows on American TV that are basically about how shitty American cooks are. Now, look, I get it. You know, there are cooks all over the world. There are, I mean, people that cook. Okay, there are people all over the world that can't cook. I mean, seriously, like I said, my mom can't cook. You know, there's a lot of people out there that cannot cook. You know, no matter what your background is. Okay, but you know, for whatever reason, Americans really can't cook. And it's funny because, look, the reason I'm even bringing this up and the reason I even started doing this, I decided that this would be a great topic, you know, to do a live stream on, is because, you know, I follow a lot of, you know, videos. I like saying TikTok, okay? But I don't have TikTok, okay? I have Instagram Reels, or, you know, you can watch YouTube Shorts, or, you know, whatever else is out there, okay? I just say TikTok, okay? But, you know, kind of like when you say Coca-Cola, but, you know, you're probably asking for a Pepsi or RC Cola. So just, you know, bear with me here. So anyways, you know, there's a lot of TikTok videos out there of a lot of a lot of people that have become famous for their lack of cooking ability. Okay? And by the way, I can't really play too many on here because, again, I'll get that copyright strike or what have you. But, you know, the reality is that, you know, the whole idea of Americans can't cook is pretty well established. Like I said, there are shows on TV, multiple shows, you know, the worst cooks in America. What's the other one called? Maybe you guys can help me out in the chat. But anyways, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of shows on that. And look, again, as a former chef, as a former cook, okay, professional cook, back in the day, like I want to say like 15, 20 years ago, 20 years ago probably, all right, I used to watch this show called Top Chef. And I used to love that show. When I was in the trenches and I was really, you know, out there cooking it up, man, I loved that show Top Chef, because I was always thinking to myself, man, I would love to go and be on that show. I could really tear it up, you know, with my skills, you know, with my ability to, you know, think on my feet and do all those things that they did on that show. A lot of times I was like, man, I could do that. I could definitely do that, or at least compete. At the very least, compete. You know, I wasn't, you know, that delusional thinking that I could win, even though, hey, you know, never know. But definitely knew I can compete in that show. And again, that's you know, like kind of like our first introduction as Americans to cooking competition shows. But fast forward to today, I don't even know if they still do Top Chef. I'm sure they do. But the more popular shows on TV these days are about the ability to not cook. You know, again, about Americans that cannot cook, or people that cannot cook, which is insane to me, but not that insane. Because again, as I was going back to what I was saying earlier about the YouTubers, you know, I'm sorry, the TikTokers out there, you know, that are now famous, you know, for basically making really crappy, bland food. You know, okay, so when I watch these videos, I watch them, and I mean, I'm hysterically laughing, you know, for the most part. You know, sometimes, you know, I am, what is it like, it makes me sick to my stomach, you know, when I see what some of these people cook and eat. But a lot of times I'm laughing. I'm cracking up. I'm like, how can people lack the ability to cook this much? Now, again, I get it, because my mom, you know, God bless her soul, you know, in fact, she's learned to cook throughout the years. But, you know, she wasn't the greatest. And, Thank God we had grandma. Thank God my dad knew how to cook, all right? But long story short, long story short, the whole idea of, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I watch these videos and I crack up, and I like to share, these videos, with my wife, and she hates watching these videos. And the reason she hates it is that she says it enrages her, okay? As a Mexican, she gets enraged seeing Americans not being able to cook and make these horrible recipes and horrible, how they just horribly cook. And I think a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about here. But long story short, she tells me, man, I don't understand. She goes, this is what she says, okay? She goes, look, I didn't know how to cook. I had to learn how to cook out of necessity. I don't understand how some of these people, they can't figure out how to crack an egg, how to make a quick omelet, how to make some beans, how to make just anything. Just look up a recipe, give it a whirl, give it a shot. Because again, my wife, I remember when when we were first together, once we were living together and all this other stuff, By the way, we didn't even start living together until way after we were married, like a few months after we were married. But yeah, spaghetti with ketchup. Yeah, here you go. Sorry, I'm reading the chat there. But anyways, she would, she would always be very, self-conscious, I guess, or very, just scared to cook because she, in her mind, thought that she did not know how to cook, that she lacked the ability to cook, which again, granted, she was, pretty amateur hour when it came to cooking at first, but it didn't matter what she made. It was awesome. She had the ability to cook. I don't know if it was in her blood or whatever, it's like anything else. Some people just are born with the ability to cook. Some people are not. But long story short, I guess she has it in her blood. She has the ability to cook. But she was always very self-conscious, always kind of like, not confident, in her cooking abilities. And then also bringing up, her cooking abilities to me. Because, by the way, she had no idea that I had a cooking background or I used to be a chef when we were dating or going out. It wasn't until, we lived together and, she would see my ability in the kitchen. And then that's when I was like, oh, yeah, I used to be a chef. And she's like, oh, you were a chef? Obviously, then after that, I started really cooking for her. And she's like, oh, my God, I cannot believe I married a chef. She was extremely happy. Even happier, anyways. But all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, she was even more self-conscious than she normally would just because, hey, she was with me. And but as she was cooking and making her best effort to cook, I was always applauding her efforts because, well, she always gave it a shot. And it's funny, man, because I watch her cook a lot of times and she has like a recipe book and she's going through the whole thing and being very meticulous. And, it looks like she's putting together a Lego set, with the instructions and all this other stuff. But man, 95% of the time it comes out amazing. And so when I show her these videos of other people that cannot cook or just lack the ability to cook or don't even know how to cut an avocado or whatever it is, to her it's infuriating because she's like, how do people not figure this out? And so that's what kind of like that started the conversation and started giving me the idea to talk about this today, to like bring this up and like, hey, let's bring this up as a topic of discussion here. Let's because by the way, if you guys saw episode 1 of Jose Unleashed, it was pretty terrible because again, I still didn't know what I was going to do. We were still like kind of like in spring training trying to figure out what we were going to do with the channel. And so I was thinking to myself, oh, I'll just go through some articles and read the articles and just kind of comment on that as we went along. But, again, that to me, that kind of fell flat. I didn't like it too much. And so then I just said to myself, you know what? Why don't you just do what you already do on the other channel when you do your live streams, which is like basically pick a topic, maybe make a few notes, if that, and then just go ham, just go on your rants. So I was like, okay, this is a perfect, topic for that. And so that's what we're doing here, So, again, this is the discussion, talks that I have with my wife or other people and all this other good stuff. But, the reality is that why is it? Why is it that, a lot of Americans just lack the ability to cook? And by the way, originally, it was going to be, why is it that white women can't cook? You know, why is it that women can't cook or whatever can't cook? But as I was doing my research, I quickly realized, again, as I was talking to my wife about this and other stuff, it's not that. Again, look, I'll show you guys right here so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. There's the thumbnail. Again, look at the color of the hands. Those are black hands. That's a black person doing that. That's disgusting. That is horrible. How is this even a thing? Where people are like, okay, I'm going to make spaghetti and meatballs, but I'm not even going to plate it up. No. I'm going to go and just throw all this on the kitchen table, and we're going to eat it off the table. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people, man? Okay, and it's like not just this. Like, hey, it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to make table nachos. I'm just going to throw everything on the table. Or even worse, when they're making something and they basically use the kitchen sink, literally the kitchen sink. They don't even wash the kitchen sink. And then they just, they're making something in that sink. They're putting soup in the sink. Or they're making drinks in the sink. It's like, what? Huh? I don't feel like you're fucking sticking their head in that sink. I mean, what's wrong with these people, man? So, again, that's the whole idea where it's like, okay, so like, as I was talking to my wife, it really just started to hit me. Because again, like for example, my wife, she, and just like a lot of people in Mexico or in other parts of the world, basically every country around the world, you might lack the ability to cook right off the bat. But hey, as you're learning, you keep it simple. So, I mean, anyone can make spaghetti and meatballs, especially these days. I mean, seriously, you can't boil spaghetti. You can't open a jar of ragu and warm it up. Really? You can't make some quick meatballs? Seriously? So not only, is it simple to make something like this, but, again, all you got to do is just make it and put it together. Why would you do something as insane as put it on the table? And that's when the light bulb started going off, The reality is that, again, we were talking about this in the other live stream in a sense, like what Americans, we like to just be extra. We just like to, hey, you know what? Even though everyone makes spaghetti and meatballs around the world the same exact way, you know what? No. We got to do something else with this. We got to take it to another level. What can we do? Oh, I know. Let's put it on the floor. Let's put it on the table and eat it with our hands. Like what the heck? Hold on. I need some sound effects here. It's like,
Bruh.
What? Why is there a need to do that? Why can't you just eat spaghetti and meatballs like everyone else on earth? Why do you got to make it extra? You'll watch Rachel Ray, or any one of these, fake cooks out there, and the same thing. It's like a simple recipe, and they're like, oh, I know, we're going to add layers of flavor to it. And then they start doing all these things, like, again, the corn in the cup, the corn inside the cup with a little mayonnaise and some spices that Mexicans love to eat. I saw Rachel Ray doing that the other day, and she was just like doing so many things to it. It's like, well, what are you doing? That's something completely different. And they add so much stuff to it, and they create such a disgusting mess, and then they think that they're creative. I mean, have you seen that TikToker lady? She goes, oh wow, how creative. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's so creative. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, they're getting a hot dog and they're putting like noodles through it and boiling. It's like, what are people doing out there? It's insane to me. So, that's kind of like why I'm talking about what, about the fact that Americans can't cook. What I really mean is the fact that, why are people that are, again, Americanized, with, American culture, why is it that they lack the ability to cook? First of all, it boils down to the fact that in the USA, again, I was born in 1981, okay? So this was happening back then. And I'm sure that was happening in the 70s as well, for some of you guys out there that know what I'm talking about. But, the processed food revolution, where basically, mom didn't have to cook anymore. She could just open up a can of Spam, get some chicken nuggies, make some Chef Boyardee. Are you kidding me? You know how much I love Chef Boyardee. I haven't had Chef Boyardee since I've moved out here. You know why? It doesn't exist out here. I tell my wife about Chef Boyardee, about the fact that there's spaghetti in a can, and it makes her throw up in her mouth. It's like, what do you mean spaghetti in a can? What? Hold on a sec. I need a drink. I need a little water here. You know, I wish this was vodka, you know? So. All right. Can I move my screen to the bottom left corner? Yes, I will. Let me see. Bottom left. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, sorry, because like I was having some technical issues earlier today. There we go. That better? You're going to miss the avocado. Here, let me just make my head a little smaller here. There we go. Boom. Boom. That better? Let me know if that's a little better. All right? Sorry about that, guys. I know you guys want to see Chef Ramsay. I get it. You know, it is what it is. He's a cute guy. You know, it is. But I mean, look, this guy has made millions, gazillions of dollars on the fact that Americans can't cook. I mean, dude, I mean, his shows are the best. You know, when he goes to a restaurant and they don't even know how to cook. It's like, how do you open up a restaurant and don't know how to cook? What is wrong with you people? You know? But anyways, I digress. So back to like the whole processed food revolution, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of Americans can't cook because, you know, not only are they eating a lot of processed foods and putting together, you know, a processed food, you know, smorgasbord of whatever, but then again, they try to be extra and they try to take it to the next level. You know, you can just order. I mean, you can just open up a can of Chef Boyardee and eat it. That's it. You know, why do you gotta like go on and bastardize it even more and make it worse? You know what I'm saying? And I could go on and on about all that stuff. And by the way, guys, please let me know if the audio's okay because since you know it's you know we're doing videos on this channel and we're still just starting out. I got the fan going, so please let me know if the fan is somehow disrupting the audio in one shape, form, or another. Anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, you know, the whole processed food revolution. So going back to that, you know, in Mexico and basically everywhere else on earth, you know, just regular, you know, every other country out there for the most part, there's no such thing as so much processed food. I mean, of course we got, you know, again, we got Twinkies, you know, Mexican Twinkies, we got Snickers, you know, we got potato chips, you know, we got, you know, soup in a cup. You know, people love, you know, the cup of noodles. They love cup of noodles out here, you know, with the plastic noodles and everything. They love all that. But at the end of the day, it's like if they're going to have a cup of noodles, you know, okay, they add the cup of noodles and then they add a bunch of crap in there, you know, to make it even more palatable. But that's basically it. But for the most part, if they're going to be cooking, they cook. And if they lack the ability to cook, well, they keep it as simple as possible. You know, just make some refried beans. You know, make a burrito. You know, just, you know, cook some meat some way, somehow. Add some spices to it. You know, put it in a tortilla. Whatever. Same as other parts of the world. In fact, in most of the world, even if you are a really, really bad cook and you have no ability to cook, you have to learn to cook or you die. You starve to death. Okay? Because there is no McDonald's. You know, there is, but they're expensive compared to, you know, being able to just go to the corner store and being able to buy some meat and some vegetables and making something for yourself. So it's basically, thank you for DB Goodman for letting me know about the audio. But basically out here in Mexico, or again, in most of the world, it is, you know, part of survival. You need to learn how to cook. You have to know how to cook. Otherwise, you're not going to eat. And so most people, you know, they figure out how to cook or at least cook well enough so that it's palatable and they can eat it. Where in the USA, again, you know, it's just part of the culture already where it's a lot easier to just, again, get some chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, you know, and again, put them in the oven, get a frozen pizza, get a can of Chef Boyardee, you know, get all this stuff that it's already pre-made, pre-cooked, pre-whatever, and then, of course, if that's your day-to-day in which you don't really have to learn how to cook, where you can just eat processed food all the time, and you know, again, you even had the ability to eat McDonald's every day. I know McDonald's is insanely expensive these days, and same as Burger King and all these other fast food joints. But back in the day, you know, fast food was always the go-to, was always the easy out, the easy way out. where you could simply just go, to whatever fast food place and eat food and not have to worry about cooking ever. And because the way of life in the United States is completely different, where it's just go, 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 work, 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 wage slave, all day, every day. Well, guess what? You really didn't have enough time to cook, because it takes time to cook. It takes effort to cook. It takes effort, and knowledge and want and desire to really cook well. And so when all that is removed from the equation, and you can simply buy, you can buy a rotisserie chicken, for $5, or you can buy a can of Chef Boyardee, or you can buy a frozen pizza, or a frozen banquet meal, or Hungry Man, or whatever it is. Well, again, if that's what you're constantly eating, not only are you eating crap and chemicals and all this other stuff, but on top of that, you never learn how to cook. And then if your mom never knew or learned how to cook, well, who are you going to learn it from? And so, the thing is, it's like, I'm not blaming, most Americans out there for not being able to cook. It's just, it's part of the culture. Like I said, my mom, again, her background, she's from Cuba, for crying out loud. And she never learned how to cook. And because she just never learned, okay, she was a princess in a sense. And then she came to the United States, and then she assimilated to the United States. And she never learned how to cook either. By the way, please don't forget to hit the like button out there if you're liking this content. Oh, look at that. See? Lambo's throwing out the fireworks out there. Shout out to him. But yeah, like, are you kidding me? Long story short, it's a different culture. It's a different, in the USA, in the USA, it's a different culture and a different way of life. And so therefore, believe it or not, you can just, order pizza. You can get pizza from a gas station. You can get chicken wings from a gas station. You can get egg rolls and fried rice from the gas station. In fact, you have so much, kind of like, again, fast and quick food available all over the place that most people don't even learn how to cook. All right. And I know, the price on food has increased a lot, but I mean, think about this. Okay. First of all, you're used to not cooking on a regular basis, okay? So on top of the fact that you're used to not cooking on a regular basis, then whenever you do decide to cook, you go to the grocery store, and again, a meal that you could probably get for like $10, $15, $20, now all of a sudden you're going to the grocery store to buy all the ingredients, okay, to make that meal, and you're spending $40 or $50. And then it comes out like crap, because you don't know how to cook, all right? I mean, think about this. So it doesn't encourage people to learn how to cook. We're out here, you can get organic food, and by the way, out here meaning anywhere but the USA. You can go to the store and buy really good, organic food, again, fruits, vegetables, rice, beans, whatever, okay? And then you can cook, and you can learn how to cook at your own pace. And again, it's imperative to do that because you got to survive, okay? And even if all you're eating is some scrambled eggs, some hot dogs, okay? A cup of noodles. You supplement it with a few tacos here and there. It's a lot more affordable and healthier to eat out here in Mexico. And same thing goes for, most countries around the world. But in most countries around the world, how it works is that the poorer you are, again, the more poor you are, the more likely you would have developed the ability to cook. Because, you can't afford to go to a restaurant, even if it's a taco stand or a hot dog stand or whatever it is. You know what I mean? You have to figure out how to cook to survive. And your mom probably taught you, or grandma, or somebody taught you how to cook. So that helps a lot, okay? And so, most people's default around the world is, that they have to learn how to cook. And obviously, with practice, makes perfect. At least with practice, you get better and better. And so that's why when you go, basically anywhere in the world, most people know how to cook. Even if it's the simplest thing, they can put something together and make it taste really good. And again, with enough practice, it gets even better. But in the world of the USA, for example, it's not like that at all. Like, not even close. Again, the more poor you are, the poorer you are, the cheaper it is to afford processed foods or ready to eat foods or whatever, something you can throw in the microwave. You know what I mean? So, that's the thing, like, unfortunately, the reality is that the culture itself, in the USA creates a bunch of people that just don't know how to cook. Now, I'm not going to sit here and, say that all Americans can't cook, because that's not true at all. Some of the best chefs in the world come from the USA. Some of the best restaurants in the world, some of the best food in the world comes from the USA. All right. But the reality is that not only do some of the best cooks and food ever, come from the USA, but some of the worst also comes from the USA. And it's funny because, again, just going back to like the TikTok videos out there of all these people that really, really lack the ability to cook. They're making these horrible, horrible dishes. They can't even make macaroni and cheese out of a box correctly. The reality is that, not only can they not make it good, or they lack they don't even learn the basics of cooking, but then on top of that, they don't even try to master the basics. They think that just because they can throw a little ranch on it, or they can just, whatever, throw a little spice on it, or whatever it is that they do to it, that it's just going to make it automatically better. That's not how it works. That's not how cooking works, okay? It just doesn't, all right? And, that's really the reality of it too. You know what I mean? And so, like, as I was talking to my wife about this and kind of like describing, the whole, scenario, the whole culture difference, with how things are in the USA and things like that. That's, and by the way, that's where the original video was going to be American white women, or white women can't cook, or whatever it is. And then again, let me just go back to the picture here. Yeah, we got black hands there, probably a woman's hands, but again, I don't want to assume a gender there. At the end of the day, as I was doing a little research, I quickly realized, okay, no, just Americans can't cook. Period, end of story. Why is that? And then now let's kind of like remove the whole, color barrier, or again, or cultural barrier. Again, my mom was Cuban. There are plenty of people that, I had an Indian girlfriend, back in Seattle, and she couldn't cook either. Are you kidding me? But why? Because she came from, hoity-toity. She came from upper society. So, of course she didn't cook. She had somebody cook for her, okay, and all this other stuff. But again, I digress. The point I was trying to make is that, okay, why did I say white women or women in general that can't cook? Well, because, again, I follow YouTubers out there, okay, and you can find them yourself, or, you as a single guy, single man, know that you can cook pretty well. And again, it's not, just going back to the basics. Why? Because men, we're not that, we're not that pretentious. We're not trying to, make an amazing dish. No, we're just trying to eat. We're trying to have our beer, kind of wind down after a long, hard day. And, basically, if we're going to cook, we keep it simple. We can throw a steak on the grill, or we can throw a steak in a frying pan, and we can make a baked potato. That's good food. I mean, really? You can't learn how to cook a steak? You can't put a little salt and pepper on it? And so that's the thing. A man, okay, they might not have any ability to cook whatsoever, but they can cook a mean steak. They can make a baked potato. They can do basic food. They can follow instructions on how to make mac and cheese or whatever it is they're going to do. They can cook a really good hot dog. They can really put together a hamburger. Come on. What's going on here? And so that's the thing. Most men, since they keep it simple, again, KISS, KISS. I learned this a long time ago. Follow the, the aneurysm. Anyways, follow the KISS, okay? Meaning keep it simple, stupid, okay? Keep it simple, stupid. So if you keep it simple, listen, you can make really good food, okay? Without much skill. But what happens is that, again, you already know, okay? Women, I love women. I'm all about the women, all right? Don't be thinking out there, I'm anti-woman or anything. No, the reality is that they just make everything extra. And especially white American women, or black American women, or whatever it is. At least, anyways, the point I'm making is that by making it extra, it's like, again, why can't you just make hot dogs? Why can't you just like make some hot dog hash? Like a very popular dish, which is like the poor man's meal. But this goes back to like Great Depression days. Basically, cut up some potatoes, cut up some onions, cut up some hot dogs, add a few other things to it, and you got yourself a meal. You got yourself a really good meal. But then all of a sudden, you're adding all these things that don't belong in there, but you're just trying to, pretend you know how to cook, and all of a sudden it's inedible. Okay? And I could go on and on. Like I said, spaghetti and meatballs, and you're adding like pesto to that. Or you're adding, God knows what to that. Half an avocado, cutting it that way. That's an avocado there. And it's like, come on, man. Give me a break. And so the thing is, it's like with men, the reason that at least men, again, in the USA, they can cook and they can cook better is because, again, they keep it simple. They follow that and I don't know, from the anagram, I forgot what it's called. When you make something short. Anyways, I'm going so hard today. Anyways, the point I'm making is that if the simpler you keep it, and you stick to the basics, the better off you're going to be, and the better the food's going to taste, whatever you're cooking. But again, unless you are highly skilled in cooking, don't be trying to make things, on expert level. Don't be trying to make everything more difficult for yourself. I mean, come on now. So, these are just my observations, Again, what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm just some guy on YouTube, with a fake plastic horse. I can cook a lot better than most Americans. And I'm a horse. Listen, man, he said that, not me, okay? So look, even Lambo, which is a freaking fake plastic horse, can cook better than a lot of people out there. It's embarrassing. All right. Let me read some comments here. See what you guys are saying about all this. Moni says, because these days, chaos is what gets the views and likes. Oh, did I offend somebody out there? Oh no, I hope I didn't offend anybody out there. Moni says, German American here. I am very particular about how and where food is prepared. Food belongs on plates and silverware. There you go. Listen, like I said, I'm not singling everybody out. I'm just, again, what is the phenomena? Why is it that many Americans can't cook? I'm not saying all Americans can't cook. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing cooks out there. But, just keeping it real, keeping it 100%. Come on, you can see, you guys can go on the Food Network for crying out loud, and or Rachel Ray, you can see like the abominations that they make. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe in my own taste, I think that I consider them abominations. Oh, we got Naru Jaloof, offended. By the way, shout out to Naru Jaloof, he's a longtime viewer, subscriber. When I used to have the cooking channel, he was always on the channel. All right, so shout out to him. So let me read some more. BYRW says, Jose, I'm with you as far as making things more difficult than they have to be, and I really love tasty food. Most of us think that what we were raised on is what we like. Yeah, again, Like, again, just keep it simple, guys. You know what my favorite food on earth is? A hamburger. You want me to give you my secret recipe to hamburgers? Because there's a little secret recipe to it. Salt. Right, you writing this down? Please write it down. Get some pen and paper. Okay. Salt. Pepper. A little Worcestershire sauce. That's it. Okay? How much salt and pepper and Worcestershire sauce? Again, you determine how much you want to add. Okay? Don't go too crazy. Remember what I just said. Keep it simple. You need salt. You definitely need pepper. I don't know, depending on how much pepper you like. How much Worcestershire sauce? Not too much. Go like 15 times like this. By the way, there's a big difference between going like this and like this. Is there? I don't know. Anyways, let's do the Trump dance. Feels like he's playing with two. Anyways, all right. Anyways. So, shout out to all of you guys out there. But yeah, just keep it simple, guys. Look, like say Nate Diaz says, Jose, carne asada, a great go-to for anyone. So easy. Already seasoned, just grill or in the pan or steak. My latest tool, an air fryer. That's right, air fryer. It's amazing. I have one. I never had an air fryer, but one of my really good friends, shout out to her out there. She gave us that as a gift, I think for Christmas, an air fryer. Oh my God. By the way, even though I love it, Christian hates it. She hates it. But I love it. And I use it all the time. Air fryers are amazing. Can't go wrong with cooking in the air fryer. That's right. She prefers the regular oven. Oh, that's right. In-N-Out animal style all day. That's right. Grill it with mustard. That's another tip. Again, keep it simple. It's real simple, guys. You know, don't be adding ranch, you know, to the burger. Okay? And by the way, I don't know, you might add ranch and it tastes good, but that's the thing. If you try something and it doesn't taste good, don't do it again. Why continue doing the same thing over and over again? Or you can just go back to basics. By the way, do you know where I learned how to add Worcestershire sauce to the burger? My wife. She's Mexican. I mean, come on. So how did I make my burgers before? Salt and pepper. That's it. And I thought they were pretty good. I mean, come on. How can you go wrong, right? But then my wife one day, it was her turn to cook, and she was making some burgers, and she looked up a recipe, okay? And she just got like the most American basic recipe, and it was salt, pepper, Worcestershire sauce, and that's how we make them now from forever. And by the way, I know that In-N-Out uses mustard. I've been wanting to try that, but I always forget because I just make it that way because it tastes so good. But I definitely got to try that. I mean, we love mustard. Mustard's really good. So, but yes, I'm definitely gonna try the mustard on it. Next time I make burgers, I'm definitely gonna put mustard on it. By the way, in the mix, we already put mustard on the burger. Okay. So let me see. Let me read a few more comments here. Let me play a little music while I look for the comments. By the way, look, I sincerely apologize if I offended anyone out there, you know, or whatever. But, you know, again, we're all having some fun here. We're trying to enjoy some time out here. You know, this is why I love Mexico. You know, no one would ever get offended by anything I'm ever saying, you know. And, you know, I don't know what to say. I love you guys, you know, but, you know, again, I gotta live my life. You know, we gotta do the best. You know, you guys also have to do the best to live your life to the fullest and enjoy life. And, you know, don't be censoring yourself or catering to others or anything like that. I highly encourage you guys to live your life. Okay? And there's going to be consequences, you know? It's not always going to be rosy and peachy. All right? All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to read some comments. I'm going to read them to myself first before, you know, I read them out loud just in case. Let me see. Okay. I know. I shouldn't be going through the comments. You know, that's not really good airtime. Look at that. Nate Diaz says, Gringo-style hamburgers, you know, add a packet of Lipton onion soup to a pound of hamburger. You know, I don't even know if they have that out here. I don't know if they even, you know. Moni says, you didn't offend me. You misunderstood. Okay, sorry, Moni. Okay, no problem. Love you, Moni. You know, shout out to you out there. You know, you know, what is it like? There's always like, whatchamacallit? It gets lost in translation when you're typing, you know, you know what I'm saying, when you're reading text, you know, and all that good stuff happens all the time. I'm sure, you know, that's another thing too. You know, remember back in the day when the first cell phones ever came out and nobody would ever send a text, you know, it was always a phone calls. And now these days, nobody ever even talks on the phone. Everybody's just texting. And there's always things that are getting lost in translation through text, you know, because, you know, you can't really kind of convey emotion correctly. So, all right. So, all right, let me see. All right, let me catch my breath for a second. Let me play a little music, catch my breath. Please let me know in the comments, you know, say what's on your mind. So that way, you know, I got something to, you know, rock and roll with, all right? As soon as I catch my breath here. Break it down. Just a poor boy. So, anyways, the thing is, it's like that, you know, like when my wife was talking to me, you know, and telling me that the reason that she doesn't like those videos of people that can't cook is because it infuriates her because she just doesn't understand how they can fuck shit up so bad. And I get it, you know what I mean? By the way, as soon as she said that, I fucking burst out laughing. You know, that's what I love about Mexican culture too, man. People just, they say what's on their mind. They say the truth, man. They don't really beat around the bush too much, but holy shit, man. But I totally get it because look, man, let's just talk about Mexican cuisine for a quick minute. You know, Mexican cuisine, which is some of the best food on earth, okay? It really is basically like 5 or 6 ingredients mixed differently. But it's basically the same. Like no matter if you're having a tostada, a panucho, a burrito, nachos, chilaquiles, whatever the fuck it is that you're having in Mexican food, is basically 5 ingredients or 6 ingredients or whatever it is, and it's just depending on how they're mixed together will depend on what you get. You know, so like, you know, what is a burrito? Well, you put the It's funny. So like, so I saw this video a while ago. And it was basically a Mexican wife talking to, you know, her American husband, and her, you know, the Mexican wife goes to the husband, "Hey, honey, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight?" And he's like, "Oh, well, what do you know, what are you going to make?" You know, he's like, "What's on the menu?" And she goes, "Oh, well, we can have some burritos." I was like, "Oh, what are you going to put in the burritos?" "Well, I'm going to get a tortilla, and we're going to put some beans, and we're going to put some meat, and we're going to put some rice, and we're going to put some tomatoes, and we're going to put some onions, and we're going to put some green salsa." "Oh, that sounds pretty good. What else is there?" It's like, "How about nachos?" "Oh, okay. Well, how are you going to make the nachos?" "Well, we're going to get some tortillas, we're going to get some beans, we're going to get some meat, we're going to get some..." And basically whatever the hell she was saying, you know, it was like the same fucking thing. But again, if you know, if you have Mexican food, even though it might be the same ingredients, they all taste very, very different. And look, let's just go to like Italian cuisine. Italian, some of the best in the world. It's the same thing. It's just like 4 or 5 ingredients. Basic food, made very basic, very easily, very, you know. And so that's the thing, man. And so like, and the thing is, it's like at the end of the day, if Americans, a typical American that cannot cook, if all they did was simply stick to the basics and not, you know, try to be too extra, they would cook really good. Again, you know, why is it that every man in the USA, for the most part, can grill? And they're grill masters. Again, it's steak or burgers, and again, just the salt and pepper. You really can't fuck it up. I mean, you might overcook it, but other than that, I mean, come on. Give me a break. How easy can it get? You know, how much more simple can it get? You follow what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. Hold on a sec. Oh, okay, never mind. It's okay. So yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just, it drives me nuts, you know what I mean? Like to think about the fact that, you know, why is it? Well, actually, it doesn't drive me nuts. I'm sorry. I meant to say it drives me to laughter, you know, whenever I see all of these videos of all these people that, you know, just lack the ability to cook. You know what I mean? It's just insane to me. You know what I mean? Like just not being able to like put something together, you know, simply. I mean, for reals. Like, let's say you're making some chicken breast. You know, why don't you season it? You know, add a little seasoning, and then, you know, fry it up. You know, add a little color, add a little flavor. Make sure it's cooked all the way through. I mean, look, sometimes, like for example, let's say I want to make a quick meal, okay? Because I'm busy. You know, Christian's busy. We don't got time. Whenever there's like, you know, quick meal time, depending on who's cooking, we have our go-to. So, you know, Christians, you know, quick, easy meals, you know, it's just basically, you know, it has to do with rice and beans and whatever, some meat, you know, eggs, whatever. And my go-to meals, you know, like again, it's very simple. You know, maybe I'll make some burgers. You know, maybe I'll get a chicken, a whole chicken. And what do I do with the chicken? I season it, and then after I season it, I put it on a tray, I stick it in the oven, and I let it do its thing. Why can't, I mean, come on, man. You know, like, geez, you know, and it's like, and again, it's like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? I think that the reality is, you know, everything I was just saying earlier, the fact that there's a processed food, you know, culture in the USA. And so most people just lack the ability to cook because they never learned to begin with. And then when they do cook, you know, they're so, it's so far removed from anything they know that they can't even fathom the simplicity of like roasting a chicken, you know, or they're looking at the chicken. It's like, oh, it's icky. Oh my God, it's raw. It's like, bro, are you kidding me right now? You know? So it's just so much to talk about. But anyway, so let's see. DB Goodman says, how about a couple live reaction to some YouTube home cooking videos? I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people do that already. I'm not gonna be doing reaction videos like I was gonna, again, in episode 1. I was reading articles, that kind of fell flat. I don't want to be watching someone else's video, get a copyright strike, and then at the same time, have to deal with that, whether or not I can continue keeping the video up or not. But then on top of that, like I said, I'm really just, that's the lazy way. That's like mailing it in. That's like roasting a chicken. Aha, pun intended, all right? It's like, I really just talk about it and all this other stuff, but you get what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, you guys have seen all of these videos before. You guys watch a lot of these a lot of these shows on TV. Again, America's Worst Cooks or the Worst Cooks in America, or all this stuff. I mean, again, like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the show, where back in the day, the first ever cooking shows, competition cooking shows were like things like Top Chef. But I'm guessing that it was so hard to find, qualified people to really do regular competition shows that they went straight into, the Worst Cooks in America, that kind of stuff. And by the way, and you see things like Master Chef, and as far as I know, the popular ones are Master Chef Kids. The kids know how to cook better. By the way, I don't watch any of that stuff. I don't even have a television, okay, let alone cable or whatever. But I have seen some of these shows in the past, and I am very, very, very surprised by how good the kids can cook. And again, it just adds even more fuel to the fire of what I was just saying earlier, that again, it doesn't really take a genius to cook. Anyone can learn how to cook. A kid can learn how to cook, all right? So, why is it that so many people lack this ability to cook? And it's really just because they never give it enough practice. They never even attempt to try it. They fail once or twice at cooking, and that's it. We're eating, Chef Boyardee and frozen pizzas from now on. And it's sad. It really is sad more than anything else. That's kind of like the situation. And again, just going back to like, why is it the kids can learn how to cook so good and then really, really like keep, that whole idea of cooking? Well, look. It's just, again, going back to what I was saying, going back to the basics, learning the basics. Look, as a chef, okay, as a cook, okay, believe it or not, okay, I used to hire all kinds of people. In fact, there's a motto, okay, a saying that we have in the kitchens. It basically says, we hire the unhireable, okay? And what does that mean? Well, we hire people straight from prison. We hire people with, criminal records. We hire people that have never stepped in a kitchen before. We hire people, well, how do I say this? Like, again, that don't even speak English, literally, or whatever. They're speaking in Bengali, for crying out loud. They're speaking in languages that I've never even heard of, okay? But yet, they get hired in the kitchen, and they learn very quickly how to put together the dishes that the chef has created for the restaurant. So, I'll give you an example. When I was hiring people, okay, and I used to get the candidates, to show up, again, I was, doing our interviews and all this other stuff for hiring people. And, I had all kinds of people to choose from. And basically, if I had somebody, okay, that came from culinary school or came, with all these pedigrees, okay, and I had to hire, it was only down to 2 candidates. It was either them or, somebody off the street that basically just knows the basics, or straight out of prison or straight out of the military. Listen, okay, I would hire 9 times out of 10 the person that had a lot less cooking skill but had the ability to learn, as opposed to somebody from culinary school which had all this cooking skill but no ability to want to learn. And why is that? Well, when you're in a professional kitchen, it's like, look, man, these are the recipes, this is what we got to do, yada yada yada. I need somebody that can follow instructions and they can learn how to do what the chef wants them to do. All right, I don't need somebody with all these aspirations of being the next, greatest chef in the USA or whatever it is, and coming in there, and all of a sudden now it's like, I know that this is what the recipe says, chef, but I learned this in culinary school, and I want to make it like this. Or they don't even consult with the chef; they just make it however they think is better. It's like, listen, this is not your fucking restaurant, all right? You got to follow the fucking recipe as I said, all right? Or as, corporate, Cheesecake Factory said. What are you kidding me right now? But if I hired somebody from Bengali, somebody straight out of prison, somebody from the military, listen, they're going to follow instructions perfectly. Why? Because, when they're in these institutions, they learn how to follow instructions. That's like the main thing, all right? And the same thing as an immigrant. An immigrant is just lucky to have a job. And the fact they don't even speak English and like, oh my God, I got hired. What did I need you to do? Follow instructions. You don't even need to learn the language. In fact, the common language in a kitchen is French and French terms, okay? It's because that's something that, again, you can all learn. And it's like, okay, I need you to brunoise some onions. I need you to saute XYZ. I need you... Listen, again, you don't have to learn the language. All it's like, hey, Pedro, saute. What, chef? It's like, yes, chef. It's like, oh, can you brunoise some onions? Can you julienne some potatoes? Okay, you get what I'm saying? So a lot of the cooking terms are French. And it doesn't matter what language you're speaking, you all kind of speak that same language, the cooking, the kitchen language, okay? And so that's it. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, when I had to hire somebody, a lot of times what I did is I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to hire a cook, okay? I'm going to hire a dishwasher, and I'm going to just promote my dishwasher, which you're already kind of learning the basics anyway, and I'm going to promote them, okay? And have them be a prep cook and teach them the basics. And they're going to, and then on top of that, not only am I getting somebody that already knows a hard worker because they're doing the dish pit, they're doing washing dishes with one of the hardest things in the kitchen. Not only are they very highly skilled at, kicking ass, working hard, but now they're willing to learn because, again, everybody hates to wash dishes. Well, imagine that's your job. So you cannot wait to, again, learn something new. So a lot of times I would just get my dishwashers and I'll be like, hey, bro, I need some help in the kitchen. You want to learn how to cut some potatoes? You want to learn how to cut some onions? You want to learn how to make XYZ? And they would beg me, okay, to learn. And a lot of times they will learn for free, off the clock. I mean, come on. Don't forget to hit the likes if you're liking this kind of content. But long story short, a lot of times that's what I ended up doing. I couldn't find any good candidates. Okay, and I would just say, you know what? I can find anyone to wash dishes. All right, I hire a new dishwasher, and I'll just promote my dishwasher, promote from within, and that's it. You know what I mean? They already knew the system. They already knew how things work. They already, yada yada yada. Okay, and that's the thing. Okay, in most professional kitchens, that's why you see most of the people working those kitchens are immigrants. Mexicans specifically. Why? Because not only do they have already pretty good cooking skills, but they can follow instructions and keep it simple. And they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. No, they're just following what chef ordered. That's it. That's all we want. That's as simple as that. And so it keeps, again, it's funny how, everything I talked about today kind of just keeps coming back full circle, right? And it's all kind of like, intertwined and relative to the situation here. But that's the thing, when I was hiring, that's what I really cared about. You know what I mean? I wanted people that, again, were willing to learn and willing to follow instructions and keep it simple, or at least follow my simple recipes. Or the simple recipes that the chef had already put in place, okay? Or corporate. Because again, if you're working for Cheesecake Factory, you're working for any one of these other restaurants, listen, it's all corporate, okay? And they have a perfect system of how they want things, okay? Don't get it confused. If you're ever going to Maggiano's, if you're ever going to, like Cheesecake Factory, if you're going to any one of these places, yeah, they actually cook there, okay? They do. It's not processed food. They cook. And why is it that they can replicate that and just copy paste, and set up all these restaurants? Well, because it's again, they're looking for, one or maybe two guys to, be the chef, AKA be the babysitter, AKA be the manager, like at McDonald's. And then everybody else, they can just literally get off the street. Literally. Okay? And that's why a lot of people, when they get into this world of, professional cooking, if you're willing to start from the bottom and make your way up, you'll be a success. But if you're going to culinary school and then expecting, to be, right at the top or at least in the middle of the heap and never, ever, ever be willing to start at the bottom, listen, all right? You're never going to make it. Ever, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Okay? Why was I so successful? Well, because I started from the bottom and then worked my way up. And you know how many potatoes I got thrown in my head? You know how many, times I burned my hand, cut myself? How many dishes I had to wash? How many kitchens I had to clean? A lot, okay? And that's why when I got somebody, that was coming from like culinary school, or they were, again, an American for the most part, I would never hire them. It was very rare. The only Americans I would hire, again, straight out of prison or straight out of the military. That's it. Okay? Everyone else, again, we didn't even have to speak the same language. Like I said, I've hired people from, speaking Asian, speaking whatever language. I don't freaking know. I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, can you understand, wash the dishes? Like, hey, can you wash dish? Yeah? Yes? Okay, good. You're hired. You know who else I would hire? I would hire people that had families and had kids. Again, immigrants. Why? Listen, they're never going to call in sick. Are you kidding me? I hire Johnny or Becky or Timothy. Listen, man. There's a risk of them calling in sick at some point. Okay? Listen, my employees, okay? All right? From the military, from prison, from whatever immigrant, back hole they came from. They're calling sick? What is calling sick? They don't even, that concept doesn't even, it's like, what? They can't even figure that out what that is, okay? So that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, and by the way, if you're coming to the restaurant, okay, and you're, and like super crazy sick, yeah, go home, bro, go home. Okay, but what I mean is like, the typical American that will call in sick, for the, my tummy hurts, oh, my head hurts. Listen, bro, you're a liability, man. We cannot have you here, period, end of story. Okay? Because a lot of times, even when we had some of these regular employees come in sick and they couldn't handle the regular workload, listen, man, we would all pitch in to kind of like help, Timothy out or Humberto out or whatever, or maybe we would just put Humberto and like, hey, bro, I thanks for making it to work. We're gonna put you all the way at the end of the line. We're gonna make you we'll give you the easiest task today, and then we're gonna have Johnny pick up the slack, and he's gonna take over your station today. And a lot of times Humberto didn't even want that, because again, it's like, fuck, man, Johnny, he's gonna replace me now, and he might take over my job and take over my salary and take over my, yeah. So it's just a different animal, but it just goes back to all that, man. You know what I mean? It's just like at the end of the day, these people not only were willing to learn, but they tried their very hardest, and they continued to, learn. And how do you learn? Again, you got to fail before you got to fail before you succeed. And so, again, with a lot of, Americans and American culture, I mean, they fail once or twice at doing some basic cooking, and that's it. They give up forever. And, again, they just stick to their McDonald's, their Burger King, their rotisserie chicken wraps, some Chef Boyardee, frozen pizzas, Hungry Man's, Swanson. Look, that's another thing too. When I moved to Mexico, one thing that was like a shock to me was the fact that they don't have a frozen food section. Okay, they do. The bigger grocery stores, they got frozen food section, but you know what's in the frozen food section? Ice cream. Frozen vegetables, like, again, just frozen mixed vegetables. Frozen French fries. That's it, just like the basics. Yeah, you'll see some chicken nuggets. Yeah, you'll see a little whatever, but that's like such a minimal part of the grocery store, okay? Like, seriously, 100%. Where in the USA, I mean, they got rows and rows and rows of frozen food. Everything you can imagine, frozen. So, that's right, always hitting the easy button. So, anyways, guys, all right, we hit an hour. All right, so we did an hour. Woohoo! Wow, jeez. See, what do you? Okay, look, let's take a quick little vote, real quick. All right, what do you guys think about this format? So last week Okay, again, we were just going through the stories. I found a few stories online, the Wall Street Journal, CNN.com, whatever, and we talked about that, and we went off of that. Do you like that format better, or do you like this format better, where here I'm just, talking about one subject and just going ham, just, going, off the rails, getting, unleashed, by the way, I think this is better. I liked it better. Time went by quicker. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day for me already. But hey, I think this is much better, much more fun, much more entertaining. So please let me know what you guys think, if you guys like this format or not. I think I'm going to go with this format going forward. All right. So just wanted to give wanted to ask the Peanut Gallery. Shout out to all the peanuts out there. All right. Love you guys, by the way. El patrón del paisaje says, si no pagas la cuenta en el restaurante de José, te preguntarán cocineros militares. What? Oh yeah, te perseguirán los cocineros militares. Actually, if you're in my restaurant and you don't pay the bill, you're gonna go wash some dishes. Simple as that. Yeah, we'll get the cooks in the background, to come kidnap you and throw you in the dish pit. All right. At the very least, if you can't even wash some dishes, we're gonna run you through the washing machine a few times, and at least get our craps and giggles out of it. So. Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. I'm reading okay, you guys are loving the format, loving me too. I think there's a lot better as well. So, and by the way, please, if you're still watching, if you're still here, whether you're listening to this in the podcast form, it's on Spotify, or you're listening to this later and you're still here, in the comments section, let me know, what topics you think will be good for me to discuss going forward. Okay. So every week, we're going to try and do at least one of these, and we're going to talk, we're going to talk about whatever's on my mind, and we're going to go from there. All right. And, we're going to, pick polarizing topics like today, the most important topics of the day. All right. I don't want to discuss what's going on over there in the Middle East. I don't want to discuss what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. I don't want to discuss any of those things. Okay. We're talking about real important things out here, why Americans can't cook and things like that. Okay. So, again, just trying to keep it lighthearted, keep it fun, keep it enjoyable. But again, guys, as you guys know, as we go deeper into some of these topics, a lot of it, it kind of intertwines with the insanity that's happening on in the rest of the world, where, a lot of Americans, they're very disconnected to what's really going on in the rest of the world. Henceforth, why all the insanity continues to happen. So, all right, awesome. I'm so happy you guys liked today's video and today's live stream. Much better. Okay, thank you. Appreciate all that. Shout out to everyone out there. All right, just let me put some music on while I look through the topics again.
I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
That's right.
The show goes on.
That's right.
This is my home.
That's right.
They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here. They're gonna need to send in the National Guard a fucking SWAT team.
By the way, what do so this is one of my favorite channels. The little bubble. Makes a lot of really, really good songs, parody songs. But the reason I use this part of this song so much is because I really want to use the original, from Wolf of Wall Street. But man, they really, take my video off of YouTube when I do that, because I have in the past. So this is why I use this, because I love that little scene, that little, those quotes, right there. Because that's how I really feel, man. It's like so many people out there have tried to, censor me or, get me to get off of YouTube or whatever it is that they do. And I love the fact that,
no, yeah, you're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to get me the fuck out of here. You know, just like the guy on there, like that. You know what I mean? Like, I love that fucking movie so fucking much. You know, and you know, like, I don't know if you guys remember that movie or know that movie, but you know, I'll say this, and I know I'm gonna butcher it, but whatever. I'm gonna try my best. All right. I have been okay. So the quote is, I have been a poor man and I have been a rich man, and I choose rich every fucking time. All right. And why? Well, because again, I get to fucking, you know, if I gotta go to the, if I'm getting arrested or I'm getting, you know, I gotta go to the judge or I gotta go to whatever, I'm going to my motherfucking limousine and I'm gonna go and just do whatever the fuck I want, and I get to live the best life in the fucking world. And while a lot of people out there, you know, they're in their fucking beat up fucking Gremlin, beat up fucking Nissan Altima, you know, and they got their fat Momo wife next to them, and they're fucking hating their life, and they're fucking hating everything about everything that they do. I get to love my life. And again, I'm not rich monetarily by any stretch of the imagination, okay? But I'm rich in life. And that's really what I mean when I say that quote, okay? I know he meant something else in the movie, but at least for me, I mean rich in life. Okay, I got a beautiful, hot, amazing wife that knows how to cook, all right? And on top of that, you know what I mean? She's an amazing artist and an amazing human. I get to live an amazing life. I get to make videos on YouTube for a living. I mean, come on. You know, I got stories to tell forever. Because that was another thing. Before you know, as I was trying to figure out what I was going to do on this channel, I said, you know what? I could just sit there and tell stories, you know, about my life, my past. You know, are you kidding me? You know, that alone is enough, you know. You know, but again, when I have no topics, I'll probably just go into story time, okay? Because I got a lot of stories, all right? A lot of stories, all right? But anyways, you know, back to what I was saying. You know, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel sorry for anyone out there that, you know, refuses to help themselves. That's why, you know, remember, on this channel, we're just entertainment, we're having fun, we're enjoying ourselves. But on my other channel, you know, the Mexico channel, and let's give a little shout out to that channel. Listen, what the main purpose of that channel is to teach you guys, okay? Basically, again, help yourselves. Again, it's all, remember, always free information. And why do I do that? It's as simple as, you know, I'm trying to help you guys help yourselves. But if you guys, you know, whoever you guys are out there, cannot help yourselves, I cannot do anything for you. Again, I'm a former chef. I'm a former cook. I just told you what I used to do. I used to hire people right off the boat, right out of prison, right out of the military with PTSD. You know, the whole freaking... And listen, and they made it happen. So I've never been a person to be, you know, playing the violin or caring about people's feelings or any of that crap, okay? I'm a nice guy. I love you guys. I love everybody. I care for everybody. But man, do I got a short fuse, you know, for individuals that, again, they can't even, you know, figure out how to do the basics. And in today's world, it's unacceptable, okay? Everything that you need to know about life or learn about life, you know, whatever you can find out online, okay? Again, the reason I got my 1988 truck is because, again, in case the apocalypse happened, guess what? I got an apocalypse-proof truck, and I can learn how to fix that truck, all right? And I have learned how to fix that truck. I've learned how to do mechanics. You know, a lot of times before I call the handyman, you know, to come and fix something here, I look up a YouTube video and I try to fix it myself. Sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes I make a bigger mess. Whatever. I tried. I attempted to learn. And then when I do call the expert, you know, the plumber, the electrician, the whatever, guess what? I'm learning from them. Like, hey, man, what did I do wrong? Da-da-da-da-da, yada, yada, yada. Sometimes I can learn and I can, you know, again, do it myself in the future. Sometimes I can't. And I learn. And I'm really comfortable with my limitations, because guess what? There's a lot of things that I can do that other people cannot do. So again, I'm not trying to, you know, do it all. I'm just trying to do what I can. But at the end of the day, it's all about, again, learning. Okay. It's all about what was I saying? Oh yeah, being able to help yourself. Okay. And if you cannot help yourself, nobody's going to be able to help you. Simple as that. All right, so with all that being said, oh yeah, DB Goodman says, did they cut the avocado seed in half? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's a thing. All right, people do that. All right, so don't even get me started.
I mean, just looking at the avocado gives me PTSD. Then looking at that avocado cut like that, it gives me anxiety because I'm thinking to myself, I already know most people don't have a sharp knife and they're trying to cut an avocado like that and that's just going to slip and cut them. Oh, God, it just gives me anxiety, you know? Anyways, so Nate Diaz says, oh, here's a topic. Are Mexican women really that tough? If you marry them, do you marry the familia? Yeah, I mean, how about this? That's a topic for the Mexican channel, okay? Anything Mexican related, we're going to keep over there. But yeah, that's a topic I would definitely talk about over there, all right? So ask me over there, leave a comment over there so I don't forget, and I'll talk about that. By the way, I have talked about that, and by the way, yeah, they are. They're pretty tough. They're pretty tough, all right? But, you know, like there's an old saying that basically, you know, an old kind of saying about Mexican women or whatever. If they're not trying to stab you, they don't love you, all right? So, or they're trying to, you know, they're not trying to kill you, they don't love you, you know? So, you know, take that for what it's worth, you know? They love hard out here. It's all about love, you know, in every shape of the, you know, imagination out here. That's why I love it out here, you know? So it's good stuff. All right, let me see. Oh, Moni says there's an app now that teaches people how to fix things around the house. Yeah, there you go. You know, it's great. Like, I mean, for me, I just go straight to YouTube and I find something there, or, you know, I look for a forum online and try to figure it out there. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you know, again, you know, I cannot feel sorry for people out there, man, because I myself, I was literally born in a trailer park. Okay, when I chose the career that I chose, it was one of the most difficult careers you could choose out there, and I've been through it all, man. I've been through it, you know. Again, even my whole life story is, you know, not life story. Sorry, my whole story of moving to Mexico, why I moved to Mexico. You know, everything that happened before I came out here, everything that happened as I was getting on my feet out here. It's not for the faint of heart for many people out there. So again, you know, I've been able to survive, you know, the equivalent of like life hurricanes, you know, over and over and over again. And then, you know, when people, you know, basically can't even tie their own shoes and they're 65 years old, I'm like, man, I don't know, man, I can't help you, bro. You know, if you still haven't figured it out at that age, there's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing anyone can do for you. All right. So it is what it is. So, all right, guys, I think we've, you know, beat this horse enough. You know, I think, what is it, like, we beat this horse to death enough or whatever it is. Time for me to head out of here. We've already crossed way over an hour. You know, we're at an hour and 17 minutes or whatever it is. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I know I did. This is a lot more fun than last week or the last time I did this. Eesh. You know, the first, by the way, I'm glad that I did the first episode and it was so cringe. Just like I keep my first videos ever on YouTube, you know, that I ever did, because they're so cringe. Because every once in a while I'll go back to that and I'll watch my first videos and I'm like, man, that's horrible. But at the same time, it's a great barometer, because even if I might have a bad day or a bad video or a bad whatever, you know, I can always just go back and be like, all right, bro, you know what I mean? Like, look how far you've come. You've done a great job. You're doing a great, you know, everything's going pretty good. You obviously, you got more room to grow, more room to, you know, to get better. And that's it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So even with last week's episode, which was horrible, again, I can just go back to my even older videos, older live streams and my other channels and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, this is actually pretty good for what it was worth. All right. For what it was. So it is what it is. So, all right, guys, I think that's it. I think we're going to, you know, what is it? Cut it out here. Or is it like, or end this one? Or is it cut it out? Whatever. All right. So I think that's, I'm just reading some comments, but all right, that's it. I'm running on fumes here, you know, so I got to get out of here. And I still got videos to edit. I got so much work to do. And I also got to go take the truck for a joyride. I forgot. I just got it delivered by the mechanic. Anyways, all right, guys, I think that's it, guys. So, guys, you already know the deal. Please, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share. Please go check out, you know, my channel. You know, again, don't forget to hit that bell icon so you know exactly when I go live, because it's kind of random. I know right now we're doing Thursdays on this channel, which is, I'm trying to just do one after the other, you know, knock two birds out with one stone. But the idea with this channel is that I could just go live randomly whenever. So for example, let's just say that tomorrow night, you know, World War III breaks out. Guess what? I'm probably going to go live. All right. And we're going to talk about it. All right. So, and all that good stuff. All right. So it is what it is. All right, guys. So you already know the deal. Thanks again for hanging out with me. Thanks again for joining me. I love you guys to death. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. See you guys next Thursday. Love you guys. And thanks for being here. See you in the next one. Bye.